Okay, so now we're going to talk about what's known as the 5 C's of credit. They are capacity, capital, character, collateral, and conditions. Odin, you want to talk on that?
Sure. First of all, capacity. How much debt can we handle? I want to know how many mortgages I can have. I want to know how many cars I can have. I want a boat. I want absolutely everything. But the thing is, how much can I handle? What is the percentage that I can actually handle in regards to the amount of debt that I can actually carry? How much property can I own? I just don't know. Gord, what is the answer to that?
Well, we don't know until we actually assess your situation, and your credit score has it's a huge proponent of that.
Okay, so what is the debt to loan ratio that we're talking about here? How much debt can I carry? How much money am I making? Do you need to know that? What is it you need to know that allows you to basically measure the capacity?
Well, we need to know what your gross family income is
Okay.
and what your expenses are.
Okay, I'm making $200,000 a year. Very nice. And my expenses are probably about $5,000 per month.
Okay, so you're probably able to now, depending on how much mortgage capacity is that? Well, you're probably looking at approximately $400,000 to $500,000 worth of mortgages.
Wow.
There,
Great.
off the top of my head. Now your credit score has to be really good at the same time.
Of course. Okay, so um, when you talk about capital, is that basically the bank is also looking to see how much money I have to put down on the property that I want to buy, or the boat, or the car, or whatever it is?
Exactly. How much skin do you have in the game?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a clear indicator of if you're going to get approved or not.
Now, I know a lot of people that want to do joint venture partnerships, and they get the money from a partner that owns a 50%. And tell me, is that possible when purchasing real estate?
Absolutely. People can joint venture all the time, and one person can use their good credit score, and another person can come up with the money. That totally works fine.
Now, Gord, I'm a really nice guy. Everyone likes me. My wife thinks I'm extremely good looking. And does that help me get a credit score? Like, does it help me with my credit, what I look like?
Well, it might to a female credit officer, but but in actual fact, your character is indeed your credit score. So that's the foot you're putting forward in this case.
Okay, so basically it has nothing to do with what my wife thinks about me or what other people think about me. Really, this is just it's really about my actions. It's really about how I've been managing my financial affairs.
Absolutely.
All right, great.
100%.
So what about collateral, a secondary source of repayment? Is that basically what that means here is we're talking about some of the, maybe I put 20% down and the bank takes a portion of that as a collateral, or maybe I have a nice car that the bank I own free and clear and it's worth, 20, 30, 40, $100,000. Maybe I have other properties or something like that I own, or maybe a boat or something. Is that what we mean by secondary source of repayment in case I default and all of a sudden my character with my credit score isn't as good as it could be, or
Yeah,
has gotten a little
absolutely. The
worse?
bank is looking for, particularly if you're getting a mortgage loan and and you're close to your the amount that you can borrow. So if you're at the top of your limit,
What is
the
that
bank
limit typically? Because is it 40%?
it's really deal dependent, so and person dependent. But the key here is if you are getting a lot of debt and so your debt ratio is very high, they will be looking at how else can you repay this loan if you're defaulting on the one they're about to give you.
Okay. And obviously, the next 5C is the current economic condition. I mean, I know that in 2008, everything seriously was looked at in our banking system. They have toughened down, they have changed the rules. It takes longer to get financing. Everything is checked nowadays. And so, current economic conditions. The banks are lending, guys. The banks are lending. This is the time. Guess what? We have another video coming up. We're going to be continuing with credit. We look forward to your next video. We'll talk to you in a minute.